Hello, Tamara Kaneen here. So I'm going to share another easy recipe for you. This is a chia seed fruity porridge. This is really easy to make. I measured some things out and I didn't measure other things out so that I really could show you how quick and easy this is to make every morning or every other morning or whatnot. And I've had great success with this with kids too, so give it a try. So we're going to start with, I have here 1/4 of a cup of chia seeds. I can eat this entire bowl by myself, but you might want to divide this up maybe between you and someone else. And I have 1 cup of fresh almond milk that I just made. If you don't have a recipe or technique for making that, you can see some of my prior videos and learn how to do that. And I'm going to need a whisk for a tool, and that's really all that we need here. So I'm going to start by just pouring my milk into my seeds and stirring it up. Now the chia seeds will become glutinous. They become, maybe that's the wrong word to use, but they start to become thick. They have an ability to release a thickener, and this will become thick over time. So I'm going to come back every few minutes and just kind of give this a stir while I'm doing other things. Usually in the morning when I'm getting ready, I'll come and I'll go this far, and then I'll go back in the bathroom and finish, maybe blow dry my hair, brushing my teeth, and then I'll come back and I'll stir it a little bit more so that it doesn't just settle on the bottom of your bowl and become hard on the bottom of your bowl, and then you have to kind of break it up, and then you have clumpy chia porridge. So I'm going to set this off to the side here and just let that start working all by itself. Talk about some of our other ingredients we're going to add to it. I've got some dried fruit. Here I have blueberries. I like blueberries and I like dried fruit, so I'm going to incorporate dried blueberries. You can use raisins, cranberries, apricots, dates, figs. I've used them all inside of this, and they're all delicious. So we're going to incorporate those in just a moment. And this is a soft porridge, and I like a little bit of crunch to it. So I've chopped up some cashews here, just a nice rough chop on that, and we're going to incorporate that on top of it. And I'm going to chop up a fresh pear right here. I'm only going to use about half of this pear because I don't need the whole thing for it. And then we're also going to incorporate some other ingredients that I'll show you as we get ready to put this porridge together. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a rough chop on our pear here. I'm just going to use about half of this pear. I'll set the other half down here. And I don't need this to be perfect unless you're making it for guests and you want it to look perfect, then you can absolutely do that. I'm just going to set this off to the side, and I'm going to incorporate that as soon as my porridge is ready to go. I'm going to come back and stir this a little bit more, and as you can see, it's already starting to thicken up a little bit. It's going to take a few more minutes, so I'll come back and I'll show you that getting thicker and thicker as we go along. I have noticed that if you do spend a few moments stirring it, it does speed the process up a little bit, but it's not necessary. You can leave this unattended for a few minutes at a time and come back to that. You can start to see how that's thickening up. See, chia seeds just aren't for chia pets anymore. We actually eat the seeds now. We've gotten a little bit smarter over time, I think. Now, if you like your chia porridge really thick, use less almond milk. I used a cup. I used 1 cup of almond milk for this 1/4 of a cup. That's usually a pretty good ratio that I like. By the time I get incorporating all my other ingredients, when I'm finished incorporating all my other ingredients, I like the texture. I like the creaminess of it. I don't want it too awfully thick. Now remember, there's a little bit of sweetener in my almond milk because I use that date. So take that into consideration when you're adding other things into it also, because you don't want it to get too sweet. You see that, how that's thickening up? We're going to give it just a couple more minutes. I'm going to let it set for a moment. Okay, so as you can see, this has gotten pretty gelatinous. It's a nice consistency there, and we're we're going to add some more ingredients. So when I eat my chia porridge, I like multi-dimensions of flavors happening, so I don't always incorporate and blend everything up completely. Because I like to have a little crunch here, maybe a little piece of salt or a little piece of honey as I'm going through it. So as I assemble the chia porridge, I layer it. And I'm going to show you with that. You can change it. You can do it differently if you like. So I'm going to take our bowl here, and I'm just going to place our chia porridge inside of the bowl. This is a pretty good serving. Again, you can break this up. On top of that, I'm going to place a little bit of our Celtic sea salt. And this comes, I don't get a fine grind in my Celtic sea salt. I actually get, and I'm just taking a pinch. This is saltier than you're used to. It's saltier than a salt. And it's a pretty good chunky. You know, it's got some nice granules to it. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to kind of sprinkle that around, kind of mush it up a little bit, and kind of just move that around the bowl. It's going to enhance the flavors for us, but it's also going to give you little bits of salt as you go through. And then I'm going to take my pear, because I had one, and I'm going to incorporate that into there. And that I'm actually going to stir up a little bit and get that pear down in there, just kind of pushing it around a little bit. And now I've got the salt going down into there as well. And then I'm going to take my blueberries and just sprinkle those around so I can get those in different bites as well. And here's my sweetener of choice, is that raw honey we talked about in our earlier video. I'll give you guys a shot of that. This is a local raw honey that I got at a farmer's market here. It's one of my favorite sweeteners of choice is honey. If you are vegan and you don't use honey, then you can use an alternative sweetener. And I'm only going to do about a full teaspoon of this. And I might even want to work in 2 different, so I don't want big globs of honey. And I'm just going to drizzle it over it. And just kind of make it swirly. So that as I dig down into the porridge, I'm getting little notes of that sweetness. I'm going to do one more here. And then, of course, the first bite is always the sweetest because I'll use this spoon right there. The next thing I'm going to do is throw in a little bit of bee pollen. I love bee pollen. It's great protein, and it just has a lot of wonderful nutrients in there. If you're not used to eating it, start off very small. You don't need a lot. It's a very powerful superfood. That back on there. And I'm going to top it off with my cashew nuts. You can also use walnuts, almonds, you know, any kind of nut that you like. I'm just going to put those right on top there. That's it. All in all, takes about maybe 10 minutes. Actually about 3 minutes of working time and more setting time than anything. And there you have it. Enjoy.